Welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find that information in the description box below. So I do not know what happened to the audio on the new moon reading. I'm so disappointed because that was a good reading, but I cannot recover the audio for that video. So we're just going to pull some cards to see what messages come out. Some of that energy may come back. If not, then it just was not meant. So let's pull some cards. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is that I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity, no harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? I was going to try to re-record that video, but I like to kind of get on top of the moon energy so that it's more potent. The further you get away from it, the um, the energy kind of shifts. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? We'll just see what comes out. I'm sure some of that energy will kind of resonate within this message. So I'm not too worried about it. However, that was a pretty good reading. Some more. Okay, so these actually both came out in that reading. And so did this one. So, okay, so it is similar energy. The energy is kind of similar, which I was kind of expecting because we're not too far off from it. I just thought that there may be a different message, but okay, so you have humor, adversity, surrender, and service. So there is something that, or a challenge within yourself that you are being encouraged to release, right? There's something that you're being asked to really kind of acknowledge the areas in which you may be causing resistance within your own reality, right? In what ways are you making things more difficult for yourself by resisting the flow of change, right? By resisting the flow of effort, by resisting the flow of I don't know, this can resonate for each of you differently, but there's something that is trying to come through, right? There's just be mindful about how you can be creating blockages within your own life by again resisting the cycle of flow, right? So again, that can be resisting the um resisting that the focus and change, right? The resistance in opening yourself up to a different perspective, right? The resistance in projecting things onto other people versus looking at yourself and taking accountability for your own actions. You can be resisting letting go of something or releasing something, but there definitely is something is trying to come into your life that is going to bring a sense of ease. Whatever this is that is trying to come in for you is going to make things easier for you. However, the way that you could be perceiving it is that by you having to make this change is going to make things more difficult for you, when in reality, it's the opposite. So be mindful about resisting the effort of letting go of something, the effort of releasing something, again, whether that be a habit, a mindset, a career, a person, a family member, friend group, or environment, lifestyle, whatever this, however it's going to resonate for you, right? Keep in mind that you are not creating blockages within your own life by refusing to let go of something out of fear of what you may have or what you could possibly lose, right? Because again, in order to gain something, you have to let go of something, right? In order to feel a sense of freedom, you have to submit to the energy of vulnerability, right? Surrender. You have to surrender in order to feel free. You can't be in control of everything and still feel free, right? Again, the last message was more so focused on ego versus the soul, right? Riches versus wealth, right? So if you're so focused on pleasing your ego, feeling validated from having control over every aspect of your life, then you are limiting yourself from everything that the universe has to offer because you are unwilling, you are stubborn, you're putting yourself in that space of greed, right? Where you are um, resisting the energy of flow. Whereas if you surrender to what it is that your spirit is yearning for what it is that you feel passionately desire for, right? Where you feel a spiritual purpose, a spiritual connection, right? Where your spirit is guiding you in a sense, then you will, in a sense, receive that sense of wealth, right? Because you have to surrender to the energy of flow. You have to surrender to giving, right? I can release my need to control. So again, not being fearful of having to let go of something, because when you let go of something, you just create space for something else to be replaced in its space, right? So clarify humor. The Queen of Cups and the Six of Wands. So it could be that you are resisting the energy of emotion, right? Because the Queen of Cups, look, the Six of Pentacles, definitely, you're absolutely resisting the energy of something that's connected to your emotions, right? So whether that is you resisting acknowledging some type of emotion that you're experiencing within yourself, right? Whether that is again within like some type of past trauma that you've experienced, whether that is within some type of desire that you are seeking to achieve, right? However, if you are resisting the acknowledgement of those emotions that you are feeling, then it's going to create that sense of boundary, right? It's going to create that blockage within your life. It's not going to allow things to flow, right? You're only going to be able to exist um, or experience love in any capacity to a limited degree because you yourself are limiting the experience that you are willing to give, right? You yourself are creating that limitation because you are not willing to acknowledge the fact that it exists, right? The Six of Wands speaks to expression, right? It speaks to being on the forefront of something, right? So again, also not having to, not feeling the need to. On the other hand, this can also be you like not feeling the need to put so much on the forefront um if you don't feel that it is of equal value, right? So again, maybe you're on the side of expressing too much, right? Again, it's going to resonate for each of you differently. You have to determine how this resonates for you personally. But you could be on the side of expressing yourself too much, where you are giving yourself too freely in a way where you feel as if you're not receiving that same effort in return. So you have to also be mindful about how much you're giving, right? So again, because if you are too giving, right, and you're not receiving anything, that is also creating a blockage because you're not allowing the space to receive. So this can, again, you can be on either side of this coin. Give me one card for the Six of Wands. What is this on the forefront? The Two of Swords. Mm, with the Page of Pentacles. Hmm. So it's almost as if the Two of Swords is like being of two minds. There can also be a perception of or an acknowledgement of how, or it could be a fear that you can be experiencing of how you will be perceived, right? Almost as if you're not sure of what the truth is or how you will be received if you do release this sense of expression, right? It's almost as if things can go one of two ways, right? And if you are not aware of how you will be received if you do express yourself, then again, that in a sense can create a blockage within you because it's almost as if there's like a lack of confidence in how you express yourself, right? Because it's almost as if it's a skill that you're not very versed in, right? You could not really be used to expressing yourself within an emotional sense. So it's not a skill that you have a lot of experience in. So if it's something that you are learning, you can almost be in this space of again questioning how it will be perceived, questioning how um like what the difference will be in how that truth will be revealed, right? I hope that makes sense. Clarify adversity. The High Priestess with the Lovers. Yeah, it's almost as if you have this, how can I put this into words? There's a lack of confidence in a sense within how you express something, right? How you perceive something, right? You may be someone who kind of just moves impulsively based off of your intuition, right? You don't necessarily put a whole lot of thought towards things, right? And that can, in a sense, create challenges because there is a lack of intention within the depth of what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? And so, in that sense, it's almost as if you are trying to find again a level of confidence, a level of courage, a level of self-awareness within a specific intention in how to portray something and how to express something and how to put something into words that's more of a subconscious thing, right? So if something exists within your subconscious, again, that be habits, that can be lifestyles, that can be cycles that you're existing in, right? If you subconsciously just do something without really thinking about it can be hard to break that habit until you start really making yourself aware of it when you do it within that reality, right? So, say you're a nail biter, for example. Again, this is just a random example. This is going to resonate for each of you purposely. But if you are not aware of what causes you or what type of environments or situations that you that makes you subconsciously start to bite your nails, then you're never going to grow out of that habit, right? You have to intentionally be aware of, okay, when I feel anxious, I bite my nails, or when I feel when I'm in a place where I feel scared or feel fearful, or I just do it when I'm tired or when I'm like, again, it's going to resonate for each of you differently. This is just a random example. But in that space, again, you have to intentionally be aware of those habits, right? Again, this is regarding like an emotional expression, right? So you have to make yourself intentionally aware of how you communicate, how you are coming across, how you are expressing something, how you may be projecting something, how you may be perceiving something, how you experience something, right, regarding your emotions. So definitely be more aware of like the challenges that you are creating within your life, right? The level of resistance that you are calling in within your reality just by reacting off of your subconscious impulsively and not putting a lot of thought and intention and awareness within the things that you are trying to portray, within the intentions that you um, put into things, right? Within the purpose and the effort, the acknowledgement, right? In how you express yourself emotionally, right? Clarify, surrender, judgment, and justice. And the hermit, three major arcana at once. This is flow state. This is feeling. This is the judgment card speaks to freedom, right? It speaks to a sense of self-expression within your discernment, right? It speaks to a sense of surrendering to your purpose, to your divine guidance, to your divine intuition, right? It speaks to you answering the call of the horn, right? So it definitely speaks to following your spirit, your soul, right? Again, in the beginning, we mentioned our ego versus our soul. So in our ego, we do things subconsciously. We don't necessarily put things into the forefront of our mind because we do things for the validation of our physical reality, right? We do things in that sense that fulfill our need and our desire to control our reality, right? Which, in a sense, is an illusion because you have no control over anything in this life except yourself, right? The only thing that you can control in this life is yourself. And so, if you feel as if that you have some sense of control within the outer aspect of your reality, then you're living in an illusion, right? You're existing within your ego, right? Whereas if you surrender to the state of your spirit, your soul, right, your divine guidance, what it is, your intuition, what it is that you feel spiritually aligned to, right? This is talking about a spiritual connection to source, to God, the Most High, right? So when you surrender to that calling, to that purpose, to that desire, right, to that yearning, right, it's not something that you can ignore, right? It's something that you just feel called to, even if you don't feel as if it's within your realm of control, right? You cannot control the soul, you cannot control the spirit, right? You can surrender to it, you can surrender to the flow state of it, you can learn how to listen to it, you can learn how to hear what you need, you can learn how to um, feel what it's trying to tell you. You can learn how to sense through what it's trying to speak through to you, but you, in a sense, cannot control your like your spiritual connection to something, right? Not within this message, right? This is um, again, it's not every piece of advice is going to fit for every single situation. So take it how it resonates, right? But again, this is just talking about bringing balance, right? Bringing that sense of flow, bringing yourself to, and it's funny because the judgment and the justice and the hermit is all clarifying the surrender card, right? So all of these cards, meaning surrender, meaning flow state, meaning balance, clarifying the surrender is just confirmation on top confirmation that there is a need, a serious calling that you have been ignoring within yourself that is um, really urging and encouraging you to let go of something, to release something, right? Again, that can be a restrictive mindset where you can say, like, I don't have enough to give, or I don't have the space, or I don't have the whatever, however it's going to resonate for you, right? Or this is just how I've always done it. So this is what has always worked for me, and I don't feel the need to change. However, spiritually, you do feel the need to change. You're just ignoring that call. You're ignoring that yearning that you're feeling because in your ego, in your mind, right? You don't physically see, right? Which is a lack of faith because faith is things unseen, right? If you had the proof of how something was going to work out, then it wouldn't require your faith, right? So definitely be mindful about, you know, how firm in your faith you are reacting, how strong in your beliefs are you reacting, or how are you resisting to the faith that you are being asked to have more confidence in. If you had the proof that something was going to work out before you moved, then nobody would need faith in the first place because all you would need was the physical proof. But this message is saying that you need the faith in surrendering in order to see the results, right? So let's pull 4 cards. One card for what we can learn as a major lesson regarding this message. One card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And one card for the cycles and habits we can innovate to continue our growth and expansion surrounding this message. This message is a little bit lighter than the last one. The last one was a little bit more um, truthful. It was more forward than this one. This one came out a little bit more lighter. It came out a little bit more softer, whereas the other one was a little bit more. Hmm. One card for what we can learn: sacred lust. Vulnerability, opening yourself up to that sense of freedom, alchemy, to find balance within your faith and your reality, your spirit and your it's like finding alignment within the things that you're desiring to create, right? The vision that you see and bringing it to life, right? So even if things don't perceive, even if you again are holding the seed and you don't see the tree in that exact moment, that doesn't mean that one day that seed won't produce apples. It just again will require your consistent effort. It will require your consistent time, your attention, right? You have to see something through in order to receive the value from your efforts from it, right? You have to again surrender to whatever it is that is going to help to bring this creation to life, right? You can't just envision something and it comes to pass, right? You envision something, it goes through a process, right? It goes through a birthing process, a process of creation, right? Where you kind of have to surrender to the flow of that creation, right? Nurturing it as it comes up, right? Nurturing things as they see fit, right? So, again, in that process of creation, there will be elements where you will have to shift. There will be elements where you will have to change. There will be elements where you will have to learn how to move and be flexible within that space of creation. But again, you have to be willing to surrender to what it is that you are trying to bring to life. If not, then again, you're going to create that resistance within whatever it is that you're trying to create. One card for for the opportunities we can create: seasons and grief, letting something go. You can create the space of change, create that space of letting go, create that space of openness, right? Right? One is a new beginning, right? Something is trying to come through. Something is calling you to change. There is we're going this we're hitting the end of summer going into the season of fall, right? There is a change in the seasons, right? And there is a change that is trying to happen within you that you may be resisting because it is calling you to let go of a sense of control that you may have, right? Again, that can be a fixed mindset, that can be a boundary that you have within your emotions, that can be a sense of a lack of confidence that you have within yourself, right? However it is, that can be a flighty energy. Maybe you are a more inconsistent person, whereas this energy is calling you to be more grounded. Whatever, however, it's going to resonate for you, there is a shift that is happening, and you are being encouraged to participate in this season of change. Now, what you do with that information is completely up to you. It's your life. Live it how you want to live it by all means. But this is just the message that is coming out. Something you have to let go of something in order for something else to be born in its place, right? What should we meditate on as the focus of this message? Divine lineage, pleasure, right? So your legacy, right? What is it again? Meditate on what is it that you're trying to create? How does that look? How does it feel? What does that environment look like, right? And again, how can you create healthy circumstances and a healthy environment for that creation to come through in the most abundant way possible, right? If you're looking to leave a legacy of abundance, you have to again surrender to your spirit, right? And let go of your ego, right? You have to surrender to the flow state, right? Because in that sense, then it's not just about you. The six is equal give and take, it's balance, right? We saw that in the Six of Pentacles, and we also saw that in, was it the six of, it was the Six of Wands, right? So that's three sixes on the board. There's balance, right? There's creation that's trying to happen, right? There's a blank slate, right? Sixes um, speak to like that void energy where it is things are trying to come through, right? So whatever it is that you're trying to create within that energy, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, whatever you're trying to bring in, you have to be surrendered. You have to surrender yourself to whatever it is that is going to take to bring that to life, right? So again, if you are looking to change your lifestyle, right? You want to eat a healthier lifestyle. You have to surrender to those cravings of eating out. You have to surrender to those cravings of um, sweets, right? Again, so you have to learn to be more disciplined, right? Surrendering does not mean it's kind of like a catch 22, right? Because when you surrender, it requires a different level of commitment, right? So it's that balance, that equal give and take, right? The justice card, the Six of Pentacles is also equal give and take. It's balance. So in order to receive something that will give you more freedom, you have to put yourself in a position of discipline and commitment in order to receive that level of freedom, right? One card for new cycles and habits that we can create. Grounding. Look, I just said that. If you are in this inconsistent energy, you have to learn how to commit yourself to something, right? So again, a mindset, a habit, a belief, an environment, right? So maybe you're in this environment that really is not suitable to whatever it is that you're trying to bring to life. However, in order to bring that creation to life that you're desiring, you have to ground yourself in the discipline of staying away from that environment because it's not conducive to whatever it is that you're trying to create, right? So again, if you're trying to plant a seed in sand, that's not going to work because that's not an environment that is conducive for that seed to sprout. You have to planted in soil, right, where it will provide the necessary nutrients and environment and water intake, right? It will have that supplement where the seed is able to grow in a healthy manner. So keep that in mind. You have to, again, the grief card came back out, right? But I'm going to put it back. Cosmic power, right? Balance, equal give and take. It's the moon and the sun. You have to, it's a magnetizing energy, right? The moon and the sun work in tandem to hold the earth within its place. If the moon was not in the position that it was in, the earth would not be as stable as it is, right? And if the sun was not in the position that it was in, the earth would not be able to create life because it wouldn't have that sense of warmth that it would need to in order to again create and sustain life on this planet, right? So you need the energy of both in order to have that sense of freedom to give life to the things in which you're trying to create. So again, in order to feel that sense of freedom, you have to commit yourself to the level of discipline so that you are able to bring life to whatever it is that you're trying to create. But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Have a good one. Bye.